A story about B.B. King. I have a lot of them, but the one that really stands out to me is I'm 17 years old. After school, I work at a shopping mall in South Jersey in a department store, and I put clothes and stuff on the shelves, and that's my job. Next to the department store in the mall is a record store. And one of the kids that works in the store with me was on his break, and he comes running in, and I'm putting stuff on the shelves, and he says, B.B. King is over in the record store looking at albums. Put down my clothes I'm supposed to do, and I walked right out of that store, and I went into the record store, and I went up and said, Mr. King, may I please have an autograph from you? And he started asking me, well, what are you doing? I work next door, you know, but I'm trying to be a guitar player, and I'm really working hard at learning the guitar, and you're like the god of what I want to do. You're the guy. He spent an hour with me. He stood there, you know, and he spent an hour and talked about music and about the blues, and he gave me incredible amounts of encouragement. And he didn't just sign the thing and say, go away, kid, you bother me. He did sign an autograph for me. He said, to Walter, keep playing. That's what he wrote. But he talked to me. I mean, he was really happy to talk to me. It wasn't like I was imposing on the man. He enjoyed it. And he would have kept talking to me, except the kid that was with me is like, man, we got to get back or we're going to get fired here, you know. But one of the things he told me, I'll never forget it. I said, you know, I want to be a musician. And he said, well, look, if you're looking to get rich, don't play the blues. He said, if you're going to play the blues, you do it because you have to, and you have no other choice. It chooses you. And you're not doing it for money. You're doing it because it is what you have to do. And I remember him saying that. You do it because you don't have a choice. It chooses you. So go at it with that in mind. And that stuck. And he was just the most humble, kind, genuine, sincere man I think I've ever met. Not musician, but man. Generous, warm. The only other person I met that compared to him, and they were both in the same category, was Duke Ellington, who I met when I was 10 years old, and he spent an hour sitting on a couch talking to me and telling me a lot about what I could expect if I became a musician, and giving me encouragement and, you know, shaking my hand and patting me on the back and saying, go for it, man. B.B. was one of a kind. I think he was the greatest blues man that ever lived. I think his work is monumental, and it will never be matched. We'll never see his like again. As a matter of fact, I have a song on this album called Another One's Gone, and I wrote it the night he died.
And you now understand that you are the Duke Ellington and the B.B. King to your proteges.
Well, they gave me an example to follow. When a young person who says he wants to be a musician approaches you, they're the example I think of. You can influence their lives greatly. Duke and B.B., they were the guys I try to, like, I think back, I can be Buddy Rich in my approach to these kids, or I can be the other side, the side that inspires them. You can inspire them or you can turn them off, you know, and I want to inspire them. I think it's important. I think to be an artist is an important thing in society and in the world, and I think to try your best to create some sort of sincere, expressive art is a very, very noble pursuit. To me, it is. You're trying to make the world a little bit better place by giving them something that's real that they can hold on to, not superficial, not superfluous fluff, but something that they can dig into. That's what I attempt, and that will always be what I strive for, and I think it's a noble pursuit, and nobody will talk me out of that.
It is a noble pursuit, and I misspoke. BB didn't leave you the mandate last week when he left us. He gave you that mandate when you were 17.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. He inspired me to go for it by meeting him. And then 3 years after that is when I saw him for the first time, when he opened for Delaney and Bonnie and Eric Clapton. I went to see him live, and I sat in the front row at the Electric Factory in Philadelphia, and the man destroyed the place. And I'm not kidding you. Delaney and Bonnie and Eric Clapton, as great as they were, they should have just stayed home that night, because nobody could follow what B.B. King did. He was in his prime, man, and he was killing it.
It's a wrap.